We have Jody Agard. I said it right.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Thank you for the backstage coaching. And we are going to talk Course of Miracles, non-duality, meditation, yoga as well. One of the things that I'm excited about talking with you is it's almost like any direction we go, I'm going to have this vast interest and curiosity. So we really can't go wrong just to talk.
Yeah, absolutely not. We can't.
I'm going to ask you, in some circles, it's considered a debatable issue. Is A Course in Miracles a non-dual practice? Is it a non-dual? Is it a course in non-duality, ultimately?
Ultimately, I've come to that understanding that it is. It wasn't my understanding when I first began to dabble. And this was probably 15 years ago. And like you, I've touched and goed with it. It's been a journey over the years. But the deeper I go, the deeper understanding I have that it all points back to the one,
Right.
which is non-dual.
What came first to you? A non-dual tradition or A Course in Miracles?
I think non-dual tradition. I mean, that dates back ancient. I don't have the years necessarily, so I can't be specific. But my feeling sentiment is that it points well beyond the 70s when A Course in Miracles came.
Right. Well, how about for you personally, though? Did you come from a tradition?
Oh, that's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
That's the question.
That makes more sense, doesn't it?
So no, non-dual came way later. So like I said, I picked up Course in Miracles 15 years ago. I felt it. I loved it. I felt drawn to it. Actually, I was handed A Course in Miracles, and then I think it was about a year later, I was handed Disappearance of the Universe, which was a huge gift to me because it helped me to better understand what A Course in Miracles was. And then really up until about 2020, I was more of a reading student. I was more of a workbook student. I wasn't really applying it as deeply as I could. And I had a mentor, Jennifer Hadley, who was great. And I really felt that throughout the classes and the mentoring and the more and more understanding, something within me was beginning to wake up. And actually in 2024, it was May of 2024, because I remember when it was right around the big sunbursts, the solar flares that were happening, and it was really big to do. And it was right around that time where I felt this dissolution of seeking. I felt for so long I was seeking, I was trying to find something, I was trying to find the answer, I was trying to find peace, I was trying to find all of these things. And at first, of course, it started with the personal self, personal development, and then it moved over into spiritual ego. Still seeking, still searching, still feeling like it was outside of me. If I only had this. And that just dissolved. I just had this recognition of the self, the true self. And then that awakening really led me just to going to Google and saying, sort of like, what's happening. I had an idea of what was happening, but I didn't even necessarily have the non-dual language.
Right.
Even just a few years ago, and so then from that time until now, I've just been having a better understanding of non-dual and learning about all these wonderful, great teachers. But primarily, it's just been A Course in Miracles, and I really attribute it to, I think, the purification of the mind process. As I began to live it and without making exceptions for it in my daily life, I think slowly but surely, I was beginning to really recognize the self that's here.
I've been talking about that quite a bit as well. The falling away of the seeker, that seeking energy, that is always chasing that carrot on a stick. And once we think we have it, there's always another. For me, it's another a deeper breath work, uh, holding a yoga pose longer, uh, going deeper in meditation. There's always some technique, some part of the journey that I just had it. Um, and one day, and this is after decades of reading the course, it's always funny how something long familiar can strike you with new eyes and
Absolutely.
just wake you up instantly. I've read lesson 122, which is forgiveness offers me everything that I want.
Mm,
And it's such beautiful language. And it occurred to me that, and I've mentioned this several times, when I when I practice forgiveness as offered by Course in Miracles, I am as awakened and as enlightened as I'm ever going to be. And it doesn't matter if that sticks, because I can always keep forgiving. There's always going to be something that comes up. So it's the practice. There was a great Zen meditation teacher, Dogen, who was asked by his followers if meditation led to enlightenment. And he said no, which really upset all the people that had been meditating with him for 20 years, 30 years. And he laughed and he said, meditation is enlightenment. It doesn't lead you anywhere. That when you meditate, you are enlightened. Um, and that's the way it is with me now with forgiveness, that there's no need to see because I always have something. And I'm always amazed at how deep forgiveness actually takes us.
absolutely. Absolutely. And that ties into meditation too, because I too have had quite the journey with meditation. And I think forgiveness, meditation, it all speaks to the dissolution of self. That's when we meditate. I've come to understand that when we meditate, it's just that. It's just dissolving this character, this body mind, this personal self identification, and resting in our true essence as our true essence.
Right. Um, and you do beautiful non-dual meditations.
Thank
Um,
you.
and and I hope everyone, uh, I will make sure to put your link in the description so
Thank
people can go visit. And sometimes I think that we have these, and I'm going to call it an experience, although in and of itself, it's not an experience. Everything that comes after is the experience. Like the personality, Eric, that's the experience. But that which is before, and I know that your meditation is on the I am presence, and that is that which comes before, right?
Yes, before thought, before labels, before identity. I am Jody, who is a woman, who is a mother, who's a wife, who's all these things. All of the meditations point back to the I am presence because everything else is under the false self identification. So gratitude, and this might upset some people who are heavily meditating in the traditional sense, but even just anchoring into gratitude and anchoring in nature and affirmations, those are helpful, and they've been so helpful for me. I feel like they've been a bridge to me really understanding what true meditation is, because even when I would meditate for 30 minutes to an hour in the traditional sense, I still felt like there was something missing. And that's why I'm so passionate about meditation now, which is what I call true meditation, which is just simply abiding as we are. And so it's not a doing, it's a being what we already are. And there's nothing more simpler than that. Just, I think there's a lot of complex things around meditation, but there's nothing more easy than just to be what we are. It's actually harder to be what we are not.
Right. And you actually offer that um, when you talk about healing, like the difference between healing and fixing.
Yeah. So the fixing is all tied to the personal self identification. Healing is the healing of the mind, not of the body apparatus. Um, Course in Miracles calls, the magic, the taking the pills. And yes, those things are helpful. But when we heal our mind, it can't help but to heal the body, or not, depending on what's according to our script. But true healing is the healing of the mind, so that can be expressed out in our physical body. If, again, depending on what's in our script, if we are to be healed or not. So the healing of the mind really is just all about accepting what is, anchoring and abiding in our true nature, because as our mind settles from the personal self-identification, the guidance comes in, the intuitive guidance, the divine guidance, spirit's guidance, and so it's not just saying, okay, I have cancer, I have the flu, and I'm just going to accept it. It's a matter of accepting this as part of the personal self-identification's expression in that moment, but also recognizing that's not who we are. So we are not the sickness, we are not the ailment, we are not the pain. We are so much more than this body apparatus. And when we abide in that, the things of the body are dissolved, healed, possibly, miraculously.